Hi, welcome back to the Amoretti Test Kitchen. Today I'm going to make a chocolate pumpkin spice cake using Amoretti's natural pumpkin spice extract and our natural orange food color. Let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is to color our buttercream. Our natural pumpkin spice extract has all the flavors of a pumpkin pie. So that's cinnamon, ginger, clove, allspice, and nutmeg. So I'm just going to use 1 1/4 teaspoons to flavor our buttercream. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of our natural orange food color. This is an all-natural product. You have no corn syrup, no artificial flavors or colors in here, just the orange food color. So I'm going to pour in 1 tablespoon. I'm just going to fold these in. All right, so look at this beautiful color. This looks like pumpkin to me, and it smells like pumpkin spice, which is wonderful. And this is just a box cake that I made, really easy. I like to make it as easy as possible. So I've baked it in 3 different layers just to make sure that my layers are even, but you could bake it in 1 layer and cut 3 layers. So I'm going to fill this with our beautiful pumpkin spice buttercream. Okay, I'm going to turn this one on upside down just so that we have a nice flat top. We'll clean up the edges a little bit. I'm going to chill this for a few minutes before I cover it in white buttercream, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is chilled a little bit. It just makes it a little bit easier to cover. I'm just going to use a crumb coat on this cake. So a crumb coat is just a very light coat of buttercream where you will actually see the cake through the buttercream. All right, so this is covered in buttercream now. I'm just going to wipe a lot of it off. We'll smooth it. Take this scraper. So you can freeze your cake overnight. You can put it in the freezer for about 40 minutes. But you want this buttercream to be nice and firm when you get ready to put your fondant on the top of it. All right, I'll be back. So now I'm going to roll out the fondant. We are using Amoretti's Mas Amoretti fondant, which is a wonderful product. It's beautiful. It gives you a beautiful, silky, smooth finish to your cake. And our fondant has a slight taste of vanilla to it, which makes it extra special. So I have worked this fondant for a few minutes. I've kneaded it and made it into a nice round. Now, our cake is an 8-inch cake. And it's 4 inches tall on either side, so that makes 8 and 8 is 16. You want to roll your fondant out to a 16-inch circle. So it's best to try and keep your fondant in a circle. You don't want to roll all the way to the edge because that makes your edges uneven. Our fondant is a beautiful product, and I highly suggest you try it. All right, so I'm going to bring the cake in, and I want to move this up out of the way a little bit. So now it's just a matter of smoothing it down. So lift this as you go and push down very slowly. So if there are any pleats, you want those pleats to come down to the bottom. So I'm just going to cut this right along the edge. All right, so I'm going to put this aside so that we can start coloring some fondant for the decorations. So now I'm going to color some of our fondant so that we can make some decorations, and I'm going to put on gloves because I don't want my hands to be full of the color. And I'm going to start with eyedroppers, because you don't need much. So I will tear a piece off of this. You always want to keep your fondant covered because it does dry out very quickly. So we will wrap this up tightly. All right, so let's start with some orange. This is our natural food color, and it is number 402, so I'm going to use a dropper. Just depends on how orange you want your decoration to be. So I start with a little bit at a time and then work it in. We have quite an assortment of food colors. I highly suggest that you look into them and try them. They're beautiful. You can use them in your buttercreams, in your fondant, any kind of icings and frostings, just beautiful. I'm going to remove these and get another set of gloves for the yellow. Let's give this a little shake. This is Daisy Yellow number 423. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in here. And we'll start working this in. I think we've got two nice colors here. And we'll work with a little bit of the black fondant. Now I did buy some black fondant because it's difficult to get fondant to turn black when you use the food color. Sometimes you can start with brown and then add the black, that helps. But I'm going to take just a little tiny piece out there so we can work it in. And we'll use a little bit of cornstarch on my cutting board. And I'm going to roll this out. Now I still see some streaks of orange in here, which is kind of nice for the trees that we're going to make, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then I'm going to take a little piece of yellow and we'll patch it in here. Just a little tiny bit of black, a speck here and there. And then we can roll it out. All right, so this is just going to be freehand. I'm just going to cut out some trees. Cut that down. We can come back to these pieces later. And now I'm going to just cut some branches. And the nice thing about making trees is that when you pull on them, it gives it a lot of definition. So anything you want, any design you want will work. All right, it's time to decorate our cake. As you can see, I've made quite a few decorations. You can get creative, you can use cutouts, you can make your own. I've also put 3 colors together so that I can put this on top of the cake, and then I just used a cake board to measure it. So let's lift this off. This cake is a little tacky, which is just perfect. So I'm going to lift this off and we'll put it on top of the cake. So you can see I have some decorations here. So I just made a little haunted house and some bats with the black fondant, some cats, and some tombstones. So you can get creative and do whatever you like. This is just black and white fondant mixed together and a little bit of yellow mixed into the black. So let's put these on top. All right, so I'm going to lay this down just to see where it's going to go, which I think is pretty good right there. So I will put just a little bit of water underneath this because we want it to stick. So the good thing about making a haunted house is that it doesn't have to be even. It doesn't have to be exact. How great is that? Because it's haunted and scary. Now I've got some pumpkins and some ghosts. Now we can add some things on the side. All right, so I'm going to try to put a little tree over here. Let's put this on. And I think we could probably use a cat, a scary cat over here too. All right, so I think we are pretty good. I'll put a couple of pumpkins on here and then I'll put the black border on. So this is the leftover buttercream that we had earlier that we filled the cake with. And now I'm just going to do a nice bead border around the edge. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please get some of these products. They're wonderful and you can experiment and have a lot of fun with them. If you do decide to make something with everything that you see here, please take a picture, tag us on social media. You can reach out to us at Amoretti on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Sign up for our newsletter and subscribe to our channel. Happy Halloween!